everybody, it's Joey. It's 6:15 in the morning and I'm doing a Fibro video. Basically I started out on Tumblr a few weeks ago when my band and my friend made our band Tumblr, so I had to make an account, and so I've been using my Tumblr to do disability, Fibro awareness and stuff like that. So I'm all brain foggy this morning. Basically, I just want to do a video because they seem to help, and just sort of like say that I was assessed for employment support allowance. I've been put in the back to work group, or work focused back to work group. Basically, I have to make steps to prepare myself to go back to work. I've been off work since I was 19. I'm 30 now, so we're talking 11 years. And it's not just the fibro I have going on, it's other things that unfortunately mean that I'm not really well enough to work right now, maybe in the future. But I'm doing my degree, so that will go in my favour. But I guess I'm wanting to put out there, because I know other people in the UK are probably feeling the same, that I'm scared. I'm scared that if I don't get if the interview doesn't go right, that they'll cut my benefit and say that I'm not working hard enough to get back to work when I'm doing the best I can, and that it's not a case of me not wanting to go back to work, it's a case of me physically just not being well enough. I worked from 16 to 19. I had a job, I didn't claim benefits, and I only stopped working because a doctor at my workplace told me that if I continued to work at the job I was working at, that I'd probably be dead in 6 months. And they retired me on medical grounds, and I've attempted to go back to work since, and it hasn't worked. I'm not well enough, my fatigue's too great. The fact of the matter is I don't know which days are going to be good, which days are going to be bad, which days I'm going to be well enough to hold down a 9-to-5 job, and which days I'm not going to be. And it irritates me because in one breath the government is saying let's get all these lazy disabled people off benefit and shove them back to work, which is a great idea, but then they take the company that was helping disabled people find work, and they cut their funding and shut them down. And it's just like, what do you want us to do? You know, you've taken away the way that we were able to sit there and say, okay, we're going to go back to work, and we're going to use this ability to do so. And it's just like, I don't really understand what they expect us to do. I don't really understand what we're supposed to do. And I guess my frustration is that a friend of mine, she had her ESA assessment before I did, and she was basically told by the work focused interview guy that unless you're dead, they're going to put you in the work focused group. I know disabled people all around the country, some of whom are bedbound, haven't left their beds in years, and they've been told that they're fit to work. They've not even gone to the work focus group. They've been told you must get a job like right now. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And I guess it infuriates me as much because someone like David Cameron, who had a disabled son, who claimed disability living allowance, who has some idea of what it's like to live with a disability, and he seems to be doing everything in his power to make it very hard and impossible for disabled people to stay living. You know, I know that the suicide rate in disabled people has gone up. I've contemplated it myself, and I guess I'm in my situation right now. I have a fractured pelvis. I collapsed 2.5 weeks ago and fractured my pelvis. I also collapsed on Saturday, and fractured it again. Well, fractured it again and just made the fracture worse. And I guess I'm kind of thinking, well, how am I supposed to be able to hold down a job when I can barely stay upright? I mean, the only reason I'm awake at 10 to 6 in the morning is because the pain levels from the fracture are just like astronomical, and I'm struggling to function. And I guess I'm just confused and scared and anxious, and I don't really know what we're supposed to do. I don't really know what we're supposed to have achieved. I don't really know what they want from us, because trust me, the majority of disabled people I know, if they were told this is a job you can do and it will work around your disability or work with your disability, majority of them would take it with both hands, because it's not like we like not working. It's not like we like living off benefits. It's not like we like having no money, and it's not that we like not being able to do something in the day, or that we like being stuck in bed, or that we like having to go to the hospital every 5 bloody minutes, or we like the number of pills we take, or anything else like that. The majority of us want to work. There just either isn't the work out there that we're able to do, or our health and conditions stop us from being able to work. And I just think that, I mean, take the ESA alongside these work focus interviews that I have to go to with a minimum of every 6 months, or maximum of every 6 months, then on top of that I have to possibly attend medicals. You know, I have a rare condition. It's not the fibromyalgia, it's my brittle asthma. And not every doctor who has met me knows the ins and outs of this condition and how it affects me and other people. And I guess the irritating thing is the fact that because it's all mixed up, and with the ME and the fibromyalgia and the sleep apnea and the depression and the vocal cord dysfunction and all the other little things that I have, I guess the bit that confuses and makes me anxious is the fact that what if I go and see a doctor that they've told me to go for Matos or something, and he sits there and says, oh, brittle asthma, that's just like asthma, so therefore it's not really that debilitating, so okay, you're fit to work, you're just a lazy bugger and you should have gone back to work years ago and you're just sponging up the state. And then I don't understand why their doctor has a higher say than my specialist, who has dealt with this condition, who does know about this condition, who studied this condition, who has patience with this condition. And I don't understand why they can't turn around and say, yes, she's fit to work, no, she's not. I don't understand what has to be this random person who has probably no idea of what I go through every day. I kind of understand it in some ways, because I know that it's so that if you have a GP who thinks you're faking or something, though I don't know how you end up on disability or income support if you didn't have a GP who signed you off in the first place, but that's another thing. Then it gives everyone a fair chance, but it doesn't give everyone a fair chance, because I have a rare condition, other people have even rarer conditions, and some people have really common conditions. And then you've got the whole thing with Fibro and ME and stuff, which is not every GP or doctor believes that these conditions are real. And because of that, that means that they don't always understand that it's happening to us, and that we really are in pain, and oh my god, my brain is foggy this morning. So I guess what I'm trying to say in a very roundabout, foggy way is that it doesn't put us on an even keel, because it means that those that have the common conditions and don't have conditions that cause controversy, or whether they're real or not, they get looked at and they get told, oh right, we know how that works, we know what this causes, and we know how people react to this, that and the other, so that's different. But whereas for me or somebody else with fibro and a rare condition, it's a case of, oh, I never heard of that before, so I don't really know how it works, and so that means that I don't really know how it affects you, and that's well, so I won't sign the dotted line. I'll just sit there and say, oh well, you know, I don't know, and because of that, they can't really judge and say whether or not we're well enough to work. And I know what people are going to say. People are going to say, oh, you're just desperate to get out of work and you'll make up anything you want, and fibro and chronic fatigue syndrome and ME, they're not real things, and they're just people who are lazy and all the rest of it. It's like, yeah, because I like being in agony every day, you know, it's absolutely hilarious, I'm having a ball, you know, and then they turn around and say, of course, that the pain's not real, and that I'm just getting high off medication and stuff, and I really am not getting high off medication. I probably could if I wanted to, but I don't, because I really am in pain, and all I want is the pain to stop. I don't really want to get high, but I can't prove to somebody that I'm in pain. I mean, I can at the moment because I have an x-ray that says, you know, shows this pelvis and with a fracture, so that proves that I'm in some kind of pain. So, I don't really know. I'm going to post this on my Tumblr. I'll probably do a bit of text because this is really all over the place. That's brain fog. That's another symptom, unfortunately. It's not just because I haven't slept since 3 AM this morning. It's just I'm not thinking straight. But I am thinking straight, but yeah, it's confusing. I guess I'm just trying to say that I don't understand why somebody who supposedly knows about disability and disabled rights and all the rest of it would want to persecute, or maybe that's the wrong word, would want to single out disabled people as lazy people or people who need to be working. Because trust me, if we could work, if there was a job, if someone said to me, okay, here's a job, it's going to pay this much, you're going to be able to live off the wages, and we're going to work around your disability, and it was, you know, and I was well enough, or even if I really was well enough to work, I wouldn't be sat here, I'd be out there, you know, doing a job, and maybe not being happy about it, but I'd be happy that I wasn't stuck at home all day, not able to work because I was too sick, or being too sick that I just couldn't function. But that's just me. I mean, I know other members of the disabled community feel the same way. If we could work, we would be working, and I just think it's a scary world we live in right now, because for disabled people, it's a case of, you know, is it just easier to turn around and say to them, you know, we can't work, but we don't want to be here anymore, because it seems that every time we get a little victory, every time, you know, like someone says, I mean, Sonia Paulson, I think her name is, she's doing really quite a lot of publicity about the rights of disabled people and the fight that we're having at the moment, and I know I follow her on Twitter, so I know that she's had quite a lot of emails and stuff about suicide and stuff like that with disabled people in the disabled community because of the way the government is attacking us. I don't really understand why they've singled us out. I mean, when people sit there and say that, oh well, you know, there are some people who fake it and all the rest of it. Yeah, the percentage of disabled people or people on disability and sick benefits who are faking it is about 1%. The 99% who are genuinely ill and genuinely in need of help and genuinely unable to work, we're not faking it. and I guess personally I do wonder if living in a world like this is a feasible option. But I'm just going to ramble on for some more if I keep recording. So, yeah, basically I've got my back to work focused interview on the 8th of October. And it will be interesting to see what they say. And whether they say that, I don't know what they're going to say. Wish me luck. Thanks for watching.